الحمد لله رب العالمين له الحمد الحسن والثناء الجميل وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن سيدنا ونبينا محمد صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه والتابعين لهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين أما بعد. نعم.
قال المؤلف رحمه الله: الضعيف. قال: وهو ما لم يجتمع فيه صفات الصحيح ولا صفات الحسن المذكورة فيما تقدم. ثم تكلم على تعداده وتنويعه باعتبار فقده
على تعداده
وتنوعه باعتبار فقده واحدة من صفات الصحة أو أكثر أو جميعها.
So وتنوع, do shadda on the waw and put a dhamma on it, everyone. وتنوعه, that's how you read it. ثم تكلم على تعداده وتنوعه هي
فينقسم حينئذ إلى الموضوع والمقلوب والشاذ والمعلل والمضطرب والمرسل والمنقطع والمعضل وغير ذلك.
Inshallah, now we're going to go into the third type. We're going to go into the third type of hadith. We've spoken about sahih. We spoke about what? We talked about Hassan. And now we're going to go into what? We're going to go into al-hadith al-da'if. A side point, inshallah ta'ala. Why did Iraqi say in his Alfiyya, وَأَهْلُ هَذَا الشَّأْنِ قَسَّمُوا السُّنَنِ إِلَى صَحِيحٍ وَضَعِيفٍ وَحَسَنٍ? Why did he put da'if before Hassan? Did you understand the question? Iraqi said in his Alfiyya, which is 1,000 lines, and I already told you guys this before, that the Alfiyyatul Iraqi is a poetry of which book? Muqaddimat Ibn Salah. Ulum al-Quran by Ibn Salah is a poetry. But Ibn Salah, which one did he put first? Sahih. And then after that, Hassan. And then after that, al-Da'if, which is what we're seeing. Lakin why did Iraqi say, وَأَهْلُ هَذَا الشَّأْنِ قَسَّمُوا السُّنَنِ إِلَى صَحِيحٍ وَضَعِيفٍ وَحَسَنٍ? And bring da'if before Hassan. As a side, that's just a side benefit I want you guys to benefit from. The reason why he mentioned that is mura'at al-nadmi. He just wants you to protect, the poetry has a way to go, the flow, the rhythm. And so it rhymes. The word Sudan finishes with a noon, and Hassan finishes with a noon. So yeah, are we all together? To make it rhyme, that's all it is. But the correct way is that you take Sahih, and then you take Hassan, and then you take what? Al-Da'if. Okay? The word da'if in the Arabic language is from the word al-da'fi. It's a benefit I want you guys to take. Da'if comes from what root word in the Arabic language? Al-da'fi. Ala lughati Tamim. This is the language of the people of Tamim, the tribe Tamim. They say da'if comes from the word da'f, which is ala lughati Tamimin. Lughatu Qurayshin, the language of Quraysh in which the Quran came down on, they don't say da'if comes from da'fi. They said it comes from du'fi. Bi-dhamm al-dadi, to place a dhamm on the dad. So again, the word da'if is taken from one of two. Either al-da'f or al-du'f. Da'f, lughatu Tamim. Okay? It's the language of the people of Tamim. And the word du'f is the language of the people of Quraysh. Some scholars, they said, no. Those are two languages within Quraysh. Okay, it's two languages within Quraysh, but they use it for two different. Quraysh say da'f and they also say du'f. They use both. And so da'fin is used weakness for the aql, the thinking. Are we all together? The thinking and the reasoning, the rationalizing things. They say that it's da'f. And the word du'f is used for the body. Okay? Du'f is used for the body. What does the word da'f and du'f, whichever you take, mean? It means the opposite of saqim. The opposite of saqim, na'am. Sahih is the opposite of what? Saqim, something that's sick. Something that is, it's also the opposite of other meanings that the Arabs have. Now we learned what it means in the Arabic language. What does it mean in the Sharia? What does it mean according to the scholars of Hadith? Muhaddithin, when they say da'if, what does it mean? It means ما لم يجتمع فيه صفات الصحيح. The author mentioned it for you here. What did he say? It is anything that you don't find in it the characteristics and the attributes of authenticity. ولا صفات الحسن. And you don't find in it the characteristics of Hasan. المذكورة فيما تقدم. That was mentioned previously. Pay attention. Then da'if means what isn't sahih or hasan. Did we not used to say in the Arabic grammar, وَالْحَرْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَهُ عَلَامَةٌ فَقِسْ عَلَى مَا أَقُولُ تَكُنْ عَلَّامَةٌ صح؟ أما وَالْحَرْفُ مَا لَا يَصْلُحُ دَلِيلُ الْإِسْمِ وَلَا دَلِيلُ الْفِعْلِ. Did we not used to say that in grammar? After you understood what an ism is, then you understood what a fi'l is, then when it came to harf, all you were told was what? That it's neither of the two. It's not ism nor is it a fi'l. Am I making sense here? The da'if is like that. It's not sahih and it's not hasan. Anything that isn't those two is a what? Is da'if. But that's a very unjust definition. Ibn Salah hasn't defined anything. Da'if is anything that suffers from two things. Anything that has criticism in two areas. If there's a criticism of a hadith in two areas, then it's da'if. What's the first one? Ba'nu fi rawi. The narrator has been criticized. It's a criticism on the side of the what? Of the narrator. We're criticizing the narrator here. Are we all together, brothers? It's a ta'anun fi rawi, a criticism directed at one of the narrators in the chain. Are you with me, brothers? And when the narrator gets criticized, there are 5 ways he can be criticized. There's 2 ways he can be criticized. Am I making sense, brothers? The narrator can be criticized in 2 ways. The narrator who's narrating the hadith can be criticized in 2 ways. The first one is his adala, his integrity. His integrity. Are we all together, brothers? His integrity. And that's by calling him the following things. By saying the following things about him. Number 1, kadhib, liar. If you hear the scholars say kadhabun, he's a liar. That's a ta'anun fi adalati rawi. It's a criticism on the integrity of the narrator. His integrity. The second one is muttahamun bil kadhib. He's suspected of lying. Muttahamun bil kadhibi means he lies in his normal conversations. That's the second type of criticism and the integrity of the narrator. The third one is al-fisq, fasiq. Are we all together, brothers? He's fasiq, meaning he drinks khamar. Fasiq, by the way, when you hear the word fasiq, and we'll come into this in more details, fasiq means one of 2. He commits major sins publicly. Or he does major sins. He does major sins. Or he is musirrun ala as-saghair. He's consistent upon the minor sins. Like in no one conditions infallibility. Minor sins can happen from you here and there. And major sin can happen from you once or twice. But then, it can't be what? Open. Something you publicize and you bring out in the open. And some scholars actually say, no. Major sin, even if you do it privately and it comes to people's attention, your hadith is rejected. Okay? Like in the minor sins, if it happens from you here and there, you're a human being, they say it's acceptable. As long as you're not consistent upon it and you're not continuous on it. Question here. Why have we taken fisq and made it a separate entity from kadhib? Isn't kadhib and lying not a form of fisq? It's a rhetorical question. We're going to come to that. I want you to think. I'm throwing these questions at you because it's food for thought. I want you to think about it. I want you to I want you to think about these questions. I don't want you to just take everything that's been said to you, okay? And the fourth, how much did I mention? 3. The fourth one is bid'ah, innovation. Bid'ah is a ta'anun fi adalati rawi. And the fifth one is what, brothers? Al-jahala. He's unknown. Pay attention. What did I say the hadith is rejected on? Because if we learn this, brothers, you will benefit a lot. If you ever hear hadith is da'if, it's one of 2 reasons. Hey, what's the first one? A criticism to the what? To the narrator. And then I said the criticism of the narrator, I'm still on the first one, right? The criticism of the narrator, I said, is broken into 2. And then I said the first one is what? Adalatuhu, his integrity. And then from there I brought out how much? 5. I brought kadhibun, muttahamun bil kadhibi, fisqun. Are you with me, brothers? Al-bid'ah and al-jahala. 5, right? Second one is the second form of criticism on the narrator. Second form of criticism on the narrator is not his integrity, is his what? Dabtu. Dabtu means his precision, his memory. He's being criticized because of his memory. They're saying that his memory, a problem with it. From there comes out 5. The same thing. Comes out of there how much? 5 come out of it. The first one is kathratul khata. Mistake. Excessive mistakes. The second one is what? Fuhshul ghalat. Fuhshul ghalat means he is a person okay, we'll leave that for later. Just write fuhshul ghalat, second one. We'll come to that. Kathratul khata, fuhshul ghalat. That's the 2, right? Write fuhshul ghalat. Whether you want to write in English or in Arabic, keep it. So we'll come back to that. The third one is al-wahmu. He's deluded. Write that one for me as well. What does it mean? We'll go into that details, inshallah ta'ala. Are you with me, brothers? Hey, who knows the next one? Mukhalafatu thiqat. That's the 4th one. Hey, what's the 5th one? Yeah? Ma'lul. That's the hadith, like in the narrator. 5 things that's been said about him. Anyone? We took a Nukhbat al-Fikr, hey? Mukhalafat al-Thiqat. Yeah. Yeah? سوء الحفظ. سوء ليش؟ سوء الحفظ. No memory. I'm a very low memorization. Weak. Those 5 are the criticism of the narrator in terms of his what? Because of his dabt, his precision. Now we're going to move on to the second reason why the hadith is rejected. What is the first? The first one was what? Criticism towards the narrator. The second reason why the hadith is ever weakened. Whenever you hear hadithun da'ifun, wallahi, this is the most important part that you need to remember. The second reason is saqtun fi sanad, disconnection in the chain. Sah? Disconnection of what? Disconnection in the chain. The hadith is not connected. And that happens in 2 ways. That happens in what? In 2 ways. 1, Zahir, apparent. Anyone can see that. It's very apparent. It's clear. It's there in our eyes. The disconnection here is very apparent, and it's 4. The apparent one is 4. Mu'allaq. You just write it down. Mu'allaq. Mu'allaq means what? It's disconnected from the author of the book, Bukhari. He's the author of the book, right? He's dropped his teacher out. So who's missing? The teacher of the author is missing. Write that down. That's the first one. It's called mu'allaq. The teacher of the author is missing. What's that called? It's mu'allaq. The second one is mu'dal. Mu'dal means two people are missing. It can happen in whenever the chain, it doesn't matter. Two people lacking, these two people are next to each other, are missing. So let me give you an example. If Bukhari throws at his teacher and his teacher's teacher, what's it called? It's called mu'allaq. And it's also called what? Mu'dal. Mu'allaq means he threw his teacher out, so that's there. And he threw his teacher's teachers out. So how many people are missing? Two people are missing. So it's mu'allaqun mu'dal. Does that make sense? The third one is called munqati', disconnected. Munqati' is the third one. Munqati' is the what? It's the third. And what does that mean? Hey Ibrahim, you asked that question, right? We were going to come to it. Munqati' means one person is missing from the middle of the chain. Right in the middle. Someone's missing. So it's not called mu'allaq. It can't be called mu'dal because it's not two next to each other. It's just one random person missing from the sanad. We're going to come to all of these in great details. Don't worry, we're going to take each one in great details, inshallah ta'ala. And the last one is mursal. The last one, the fourth one is called what? The fourth one is called mursal. Mursal means when a tabi'i says that the Prophet said. Are you with me, brothers? And it's also called a mursal when a sahabi narrates from another sahabi. When a sahabi narrates from a what? Another sahabi is also called mursal. He doesn't hear it from the Prophet directly. He narrates from another companion. It's also a mursal. Those four are the apparent, clear disconnection. Are you with me, brothers? Abu Hurairah talks about things that happen in Mecca. Abu Hurairah wasn't a Muslim then. He never met the Messenger when the Prophet was in Mecca. Or Ibn Abbas talks about the things that the Prophet ﷺ did in Mecca. Ibn Abbas was only 3 years when the Prophet migrated from Mecca. How can he know that? Who did he get it from? He got it from another companion. Are you with me? That's called mursal al-sahabi. Are you? Whether Sahabi doesn't have to tell us who he heard from, because we know a Sahabi is either going to hear it from another companion or he's going to hear it from the Prophet. Why would a Sahabi want to talk to a tabi'i? He's higher than a tabi'i. So the mursal al-sahabi is always accepted. It's the mursal of the tabi'i that's not accepted. Now the mursal al-sahaba is not da'if. The mursal of the Sahabas are not da'if. How can it be da'if? Ibn Abbas heard it from another Sahabi, and the other Sahabi is reliable. Are you with me? وَلِذَلِكَ Bayquni, one of the mistakes that he fell into was that when he defined mursal, what did he say? He said, وَمُرْسَلٌ مِّنْهُ الصَّحَابِيُّ سَقَطْ وَقُلْ غَرِيبُ مَا رَوَى رَاوٍ فَقَطْ. صح? He said that the mursal is, the companion is missing. If we knew that the companions were missing, we would have taken the narration. Bayquni said that the mursal is when there's a companion missing. If mursal was when there was a companion missing, we would have accepted the mursal. Why? Because we know our companion is missing, and all the companions are reliable to us. We don't need to know who they are. Are you with me, brothers? The reason why we want to know the mursal is because we're scared it might be another tabi'i, and we want to know who this tabi'i is. Are you with me, brothers? Pay attention. If we were sure that what was missing is a companion, we don't need to ask the name of which companion, because all of the companions are accepted to us without any exception. Are we all together? You all know the famous hadiths of the Prophet. A man came to the Prophet and he asked, we don't know the man's name, Islam, who asked the Prophet the question. We accept it because he's a companion. Are we all together? Let me come back now, inshallah ta'ala, to the point that I was saying before, which is the disconnection happens in two ways. Apparent, and I mentioned how many? 4. Those 4 that I just mentioned, which is the mu'allaq, the mu'dal, the munqati' and the mursal. Those 4. If you study hadith, science of hadith, you can generally, as a student of knowledge, You can find these ahadith that are mursal, munqati', mu'dal. It's easy to find. You just need to look at for the birth of the narrator and when the narrator died, who he met. You just have to go to the books. That one is easy. That's why it's called apparent. You know, Bukhari says Imam Malik said. We know already they never met each other because we know the year that Bukhari died and we know the year that Imam Bukhari was born and the year Imam Malik died. We just look at that. That's why those four are apparent. You just have to quickly look into the books of biography and you can find it yourself. The second type of disconnection, that's not apparent. It's called hidden. It's khafi. The second type of disconnection is hidden. It's khafi. Not everybody can see it. It won't catch the attention of everybody. You have to look deep into it. And that's what you guys were asking me the other day. What's the difference mu'allaq and tadlis, right? Tadlis falls under the hidden type. Tadlis, and tadlis is one of the hidden ones. And the second one is al-mursal al-khafi. Al-mursal al-khafi. How is this one hidden? How is this one hidden? The reason why it's hidden, the disconnection here is hidden from you, is Salman comes to these classes every day. He listens, he takes notes, he's paying attention. But yesterday, for example, he chose not to come. He missed the lesson. And I mentioned a particular hadith. How would you know that he never heard this hadith from me? You can't look at whether he was born at the same time as me or if we met one another. You can't look at the birth of when he was born and when I was born and the time I died, because you already know he met me and I met him. How do you know he wasn't in the halaqah? That's hidden. That's not easy for anyone to see. It's not easy for anyone's eye to catch that. That's where the scholars of Hadith say this is not for everyone. They step in and they will find out. Are you with me, brothers? That's khafi. It's hidden. Are you with me, brothers? Am I making sense here? Those two are the ones that are very deep and they need looking into it. One of the reasons why it's also the scholars of Hadith, they stated people like Ishaq ibn Rahuya, his memory became bad for 1 month. They knew when it happened to him, when it didn't happen to him. They knew when he came back and when he didn't come back. Are you with me, brothers? When he went off the grid, his hifd went off the grid, and no one should go refer back to him and take the hadith from him, and when they should start taking it from him. Everyone is under their surveillance for them. Everyone is being scrutinized and checked and looked at. هكذا حفظ الدين. That's how the religion was protected. Are you with me, brothers? These people spent their lives, their whole entire life to verify this was what the messenger did and said. Are we all together, brothers? So this chapter, that's what we're going to be talking about, inshallah ta'ala, which is da'if now. We're now going to be going to da'if. Da'if is the biggest chapter. It's the what? It's the biggest chapter. We told you the reasons why it happens, but now many types come under it. Each one you have to have a perception of it. What does it mean? What's meant by this? And how does it work? But the idea that I just gave you, you all have, right? What da'if is. If you hold on to that, you'll understand. Like for example, when we say, Imam Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, he's weak in hadith. What do we mean by that? Do we mean what we're criticizing his integrity? Isn't a person not ignorant to say to you, then you guys criticize Imam Abu Hanifa's integrity, why do you take fiqh from him? We'll say you haven't understood when we say he's weak in hadith, it means he's what? His precision in hadith was not in the level and the station that the people of hadith wanted it. Am I making sense here? And it doesn't take away from a person's nobility in ibadah. وَلِذَلِكَ some of the people, the reason why the people of hadith never took from them is because they got overwhelmed with ibadah. One man, he cut off from everybody else. He's just a worshipper. What's going to happen to him? And he's not revising every day. He's not going over his notes. He's not in the halaqah of hadith where he's hearing narrations all day. He used to be a muhaddith. He just walked away from all of that and he just cut off for ibadah. Is he a noble person? Yes. Is he a righteous person? Yes. But is his hadith accepted? He's going to do a lot of mistakes because he walked away from all of that. Does that make sense? Another person is busy with fiqh, extracting rulings from the hadith. And so he doesn't memorize it. He just busies himself bringing out rulings for the people. And he's holding a noble position. Don't belittle that position, by the way. But he's not memorizing the hadiths. To the people of hadith, they won't take the hadith from you. They take the fiqh from you because that's what you busied yourself with. And that's what you're good at. Am I making sense here?